The men on this boat are Egyptians being held hostage by Somali pirates. Not so high profile as the American captain of the Maersk Alabama, who was dramatically rescued when US Navy SEALs shot dead pirates who were pointing a gun at his head. But since then, the pirates have seized more than a ship a day. Almost 300 crew members are currently being held by gangs who show no sign of winding up their piracy that is netting them millions of dollars. This despite the stiffening resolve of some nations, particularly the French, whose navy has gone on the offensive. This week, the crew of the frigate Nervoz captured 11 pirates by playing the Somalis at their own game, using 2 small assault boats to take control of the pirates' mothership. And, following the attempted seizure of the Maersk Alabama, United States Secretary of State Hillary Clinton made it clear America would step up naval action.
We have to act swiftly and decisively to combat this threat. These pirates are criminals, they are armed gangs on the sea, and those plotting attacks must be stopped, and those who have carried them out must be brought to justice.
But the problem is that the owners and the insurers of big ships generally prefer to negotiate and pay a ransom to the pirates rather than risk the loss of their vessels and their crews. Scott Stewart is Senior Security Analyst at STRATFOR.
This was a very lucky case for the Maersk Alabama. They were able to prevent the pirates from taking full control of their vessel and crew. They were able to somewhat negotiate their way out of it and get the captain off the boat onto the lifeboat with the pirates, which was very lucky. And then, of course, the U.S. Navy was able to get to the scene, isolate the pirates, cut them off from support from the shore, and then totally control the situation. One of the lessons that we saw was that the pirates are not terrorists. They're not all that professional, and they're really not able to cope with the U.S. Navy SEALs and the Navy in general. Right now, there are about 12 navies participating. We don't know what the entire cost is because a lot of the costs would have been underwritten anyways as part of the training budget for some of the cruises that these navies would have been involved in. The Indians, the Chinese, the Koreans, the Japanese. So it's not only an anti-pirate patrol, but it's also a very useful training exercise for these navies. Without the motherships, the range of the pirates is extremely limited to what their small skiffs can reach from the shore. And so they're using these motherships to take them out into the shipping lanes where the bigger ships transit most of the time, out away from the Somalian shore. So if you are able to interdict the motherships, prevent them from leaving port, stop them, search them, or even sink them, that would severely mitigate the pirate threat in the area around Somalia. Some of the companies are hiring professional contractors, these security contract groups, to provide armed security on their ships, especially the ones that are going into Mogadishu to deliver food aid and other things. Those ones, a lot of those have armed security. However, a lot of the ship owners, the shipping associations are very reluctant to just, first of all, arm their sailors due to a variety of reasons. They're concerned about mutiny among their own crew. And even those with professional crews, while they're professional sailors, they're not necessarily professional security people. They're not necessarily professional marksmen. And so there are a lot of concerns about liability. There are concerns about them perhaps shooting innocent people by accident and then the ship owners being sued. And so there are a lot of legal obstacles that cause these shipping companies and these shipping associations to fight back or to be reluctant to put guns on the ships. Cooperation from the countries involved is very minimal because of their capabilities. There's only so much that the Somalian government can do itself because it is so weak. But even the other countries in the area, like Yemen, Kenya, those countries are very limited in what they can do as far as naval force and applying that into the area. Of course, the other thing to consider is just the vast size of the area in general anyways. The Somali coast is about the same length as the U.S.-Mexico border. And we've seen how much difficulty the United States government has had even patrolling its own border here domestically. So to try to take that out into Somalia is difficult, but then to take it out several hundred miles from that 2,000 mile long border, you're talking about a million square miles of ocean, and that is very difficult to control and or patrol. If we just look back at the history of similar problems and UN involvement in them, they really have not been very effective. And unfortunately, I don't think or don't have much reason to be optimistic here that they will be effective in combating piracy in Somalia.
The big problem is that so far piracy has brought the Somali criminals easy money. Cutting off the money supply and ensuring their speedboats never leave port is perhaps the only solution. This is Stratfor Insights, Colin Chapman reporting.